All right, part 2. Let's do it. All right. There's a riddle about a father and a son that get into a terrible car accident and are rushed to the hospital. The father passes away, but the boy was taken to an operating room, only for the surgeon to say, "I cannot operate on this boy because he's my son." This riddle sums up to 75% of the people that hear it, because they don't consider the fact that the surgeon is the boy's mother, a woman. Most of you probably assume that the surgeon was a man, which goes to show how a singular word choice affects the way we see things. The language you choose certainly conjures images for others to see, but are you even aware of that effect? How many words do we use every day? How many of them do we just throw out the window without even considering their impact? Are you even aware of the amount of words that you actually use in a singular day? Well, the average male speaks at least 7,000 words. Women, and this may or may not be surprising, but women speak a lot more, around 20,000 words per day. Now, according to Science magazine, the average teenager uses only 800 different words a day. But by the age of 20, the average person should know a total of 42,000 words. With so many words to choose from, do you actually make deliberate choices when you speak? How many words do you say actually hold significance? How many words do you say are misunderstood or didn't achieve your intended purpose? And when it comes to choosing words, are you aware of your own subconscious biases? To put this in another way, are you contributing to the current state of discourse in society? Well, I'm one of those people that hang on to the meaning of words. And I've realized I may be different from others, but I've also realized I'm not entirely alone. A week ago in advisory, we watched a thought experiment conducted by a student named Shay Glover from Chicago High School for the Arts, in which she recorded classmates and strangers alike responding on camera to being called beautiful. Each one of them were given the same compliment: "You are beautiful." Now, some were overjoyed and blushed. Some giggled awkwardly at the camera. Some even became visibly angry because they could not believe that they were capable of receiving this compliment. They thought it was a joke. I found it interesting how the same word could stir such different reactions. In daily conversations, though we may not realize it, every word counts. It's a two-way street. Words change the way we see situations, and seeing the reality of that situation changes our words. And I'm not being cynical here. I'm being real, that when it comes to politics, it's the politicians who are probably the most adept at using certain words to color our views on the issue. This means at the heart of what divides us as a nation is simply the language we use. And even if you choose to not be political, the language you already use reveals your own political leanings, regardless of your intentions, because word choice reveals how you see the world. So here are two issues where people shouldn't be so casual about the language they use to describe the same phenomena. The first is homelessness. The nature of the word, homeless, reflects the ideas in which we attach to it. We assume by not having a home, people are somehow less than people do. The word denies the dignity of someone who is often a victim to circumstances. There are over 600,000 people in the United States that experience homelessness each night, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Over 138,000 of these individuals are teenagers. Homelessness is a symptom of other problems, like substance abuse, mental health problems, the growing wealth gap, LGBTQ discrimination, rising house costs, or overall disconnection. That's why we shouldn't describe it with just one word that suggests that the problem is permanent and therefore unsolvable. And just because you don't have a physical space in which to lie down doesn't mean you can't get yourself back up. So what if we change the language surrounding this issue? Saying that an individual is unhoused rather than homeless may change our attitudes. For example, Norm Carroll, a city council candidate, was once an unhoused resident in the streets of Palo Alto, California. When a young boy walked over to Carroll and asked him if he had a house, this completely changed the way Carroll looked at his situation, because he realized, no, he may not have a physical roof over his head, but he does have a home. He has a community. With this in mind, Carol gave a speech titled, "Please Don't Call Me Homeless," to Palo Alto's Human Relations Committee and ran for city council. Another word worth reconsidering in politics is the term illegal alien. Though the phrase is actually the correct legal term today, it is used with a sense of denigration or with an anti-immigration sentiment. Whether you use the term illegal alien, undocumented immigrant, or unauthorized migrant, and regardless of whether you're making a conscious or unconscious decision about which term you choose, reveals the biases you may or may not be aware of even having. This largely has to do with the political psychological term called framing. Framing is the way we categorize situations in our brains. So when these ideas are brought up in discussion again, the way we term that idea displays the way we made up our minds. The word illegal colors your lens with a negative light. The words you choose don't just reveal the way you see the world. They also reveal the way you see yourself. And this is where this issue relates to all of us on a personal level. How do we talk about weight, for example? Do you consider yourself fat, obese, or even overweight? Do you consider your weight as healthy or unhealthy? Such simple choices in language bear so much weight. In middle school, these words had a profound impact on the way I saw myself because I held on to them and tried to let them define me. Words I heard shaped the way I looked at myself, even if they weren't true or even directed at me. So I think we could all take more time in being more deliberate with our words. In a time where people are so callous and quick about their language, and when discourse has broken down, we should slow down and take another look at the words we use. Your words are in your control. You have a choice to bring people up or put them down. You have a choice to speak up or stay silent. Give your words a second thought and consider their lasting impact. Thank you.